Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Black Adam from Justice League Endless Winter. This guy's part of the collective build of Frost King. Get all 4 figures, and you can complete Frost King. I got this figure at Walmart. They had a pallet full of all the newest McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Black Adam, collective build, the Frost King. This is the 4th of 4 figures to complete him. Here he is in the package. Looks like he has Frost King's legs, 2 sort of energy blast effects that will come out of his hands, a display stand, and a collector's card. One side of the package, Black Adam from Justice League Endless Winter. Other side simply says Black Adam. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. On the back side, here's the Frost King complete. Here's instructions how to build the Frost King. Here are the pieces that come with Black Adam. And here's the rest of the wave. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And between the pallet at Walmart and my haul from Amazon.com, I got a ton of McFarlane DC Multiverse figures today. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand, a collector's card, 2 energy effects that will attach to his hands, kind of like lightning bolts, and then both legs for the Frost King. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Black Adam. He's essentially an evil Shazam. There was a young boy in Egypt who got his powers from the same person that gave Shazam his powers, but his uncle stole them and became the villain, Black Adam. He shares the same powers as Shazam, similar to Superman. He can fly, super strength, almost invincible. So let's take a look at him. Starting with his head here, and I think his head looks absolutely fantastic. A little bit dark around the eyes, giving that sort of villain-esque look. Pointy middle of the hair, signature to Black Adam. This could make for a really good Amazo custom as well. Going further down, signature lightning bolt, the black outfit. Now just looking at his body, this could make a great base for Shazam if you had a different head. They definitely need to give us a regular Shazam figure. The suit has some texturing going on to it. It looks pretty good. The color scheme, the gold on the black, it looks nice. 2 fisted hands, double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. Overall, he looks pretty cool. It's a nice, regular, standard looking Black Adam to add to the DC Rogues Gallery. And just a closer look at his head or face sculpt. Like I said before, I think this guy's face looks fantastic. The only sort of gripe I'd have would be the skin tone on his head does not really match the skin tone on his neck. It's not too bad, but it's definitely noticeable. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. He has a display stand, typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says DC at the bottom. It's got 1 peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the figure, Black Adam. Looks a little bit different than the final product. Black Adam from Justice League Endless Winter. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Now let's look at the Frost King's legs. He's got some boots, a little bit of, I don't know, sort of fur type stuff around the bottom there. The pants are textured. It is a double jointed knee. Once put together, here's the entire Frost King. It's a really nice looking figure. He's big, intimidating, massive, but he does have a problem with his right leg. Leg pops out very easily. Kind of reminds me of the Bane fiasco, although not quite as bad. Drop me a line in the comments below. Are you guys having trouble with the Frost King, or is yours guys holding together just fine? I mean, he doesn't fall apart by looking at him like Bane did, but it does come out pretty easily when posing him. Here's an example of how much bigger Frost King is than a regular McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. Here he is next to Black Mask. Black Mask is your typical 7-inch McFarlane size. Now let's look at his energy effects. These will wrap around his wrists. They're made of a semi-clear, transparent blue. It looks very nice, simulating lightning bolts or energy. They're not identical, which is kind of surprising to me. Here's Black Adam with the energy effects attached. They fit pretty nice and snug around his hands. I did try them with some 6-inch scale figures, and it worked, although they were a little bit looser. Here are a few other DC figures I was curious if the energy effects would attach to. Lightning is appropriate for all 3 of these figures. We have a Mattel DC Multiverse Black Lightning, a DC Direct Arkham Origins Electrocutioner, and a DC Direct Superman Batman Livewire. Here's Black Lightning with the energy effects. They're a little bit looser around his hands, this being a smaller 6-inch scale figure. The energy effects look a little bit big, but it works. Here they are on Electrocutioner. Very tight fit, almost difficult to get them on his hands, but it works and looks pretty good. And here they are with Livewire. Livewire is a 7-inch scale figure, but she's a lot smaller than Electrocutioner and a lot thinner. These things are very loose in her hands. It looks a little bit too big for her, but it definitely works. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and its accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 7.3 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 18.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here. Of course, he can rotate from side to side. He can look up, not very much, down about that far, not too impressive there. Can't tilt his head from one side to the other. Give him a good amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion. Bicep cut, but it barely moves at all. Double jointed elbows, they go all the way back. His wrists can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Give him pretty good range of motion his torso. It's very tight, not quite as good as some of the other McFarlane figures. His legs, pretty much completely does the splits. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation is minimal. Legs go forward about that far. Back, not too much. Double jointed knees. Then his ankle here. Forward and back, although you really don't get much out of that. Rotate, tilt, rock. His sort of armor here is soft, allows for some movement, and he's got toe articulation. Here's Black Adam flying in the city skies. And here's Black Adam facing off against Shazam. And this being Black Adam's video, of course he gets the upper hand and overtakes Shazam. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here's Black Adam with the rest of the Justice League Endless Winter Wave. This is the collective Build-A-Figure Frost King. Here's Black Adam next to King Shazam the Infected. Black Adam uses the majority of the parts from this Shazam figure. Now this is an evil version of Shazam. It'd be really nice if they would give us a standard version. This Black Adam body, or the Shazam body, would be a great base. All they really need is a new head. Come on, McFarlane. That's one of the figures from the modern Justice League that we need. We still need Wonder Woman, Shazam, and Cyborg, and many more. Here he is, next to some other standard villains from DC's Rebirth comics, General Zod, Black Adam, the Joker, and Reverse Flash. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to a couple of Lex Luthor figures. Then, next to Superboy Prime, and the Dark Knight Returns Armored Batman, Blue Edition, and here, next to a couple of Lobo figures. Then, next to the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn, and the Mortal Kombat 11 Joker, and here, with the Year 2 Batman, and the light-up version of the Hazmat Suit Batman. Here he is, next to the Reverse Flash from DC's Rebirth comics, and the Speed Force Flash from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Here's Black Adam, with the Batman Beyond Atomic Edition of Blight, and the Unmasked Batwoman. And here, next to the entire Batman 3 Joker's Wave. And now, next to all 3 variations of McFarlane's Swamp Thing Mega figure. Then, next to the Batman Who Laughs and Robin Crow's 4-pack. And here he is, next to the Gotham Knights figures, still trying to track down the Platinum Chase variant of Batgirl. Then, next to DC's Rebirth Batman and General Zod. And here, next to the Future State Batman and Dark Detective. And now, next to McFarlane's entire The Batman lineup. Then, with the Batman Dark Knight Returns collective build a Horsewave. Here's Black Adam, next to the only Shazam figure that I have. This is a Mattel DC Multiverse, DC Cinematic Universe movie Shazam. Definitely a smaller scale, but it can work if you pose them right. Now let's check them out. Next to some action figures from different various companies to see how it fits in both scale and style wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect and work my way smaller. Here he is with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, he's a pretty nice figure. I love the fact that it's a normal, standard, iconic looking modern Black Adam to add to the DC Rogues gallery. This guy's articulation is pretty good. Bicep cut is pretty much pointless. Sculpt and paint job are good. A little bit of issues with his hairline, but nothing major. His accessories, the lightning bolts, the energy effects, they're pretty cool and pretty useful. I can see myself getting a ton of mileage using them with a wide variety of characters. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Definitely enjoying him, enjoying the fact that he's a brand new character to add to the McFarlane DC Multiverse line. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.